Hi guys, today we are going to talk about the importance of story for your product or for your company. Now, you've heard a lot of people on social media talk about the importance of telling a story and that a great product maker is a great storyteller and great entrepreneurs are great storytellers. So, what does this whole storytelling really mean? Okay. Now, what we have to first look at is what drives someone to actually buy your product and then talk about your product. So there are three stages to this. The stage one is being part of the consideration set. Okay. So if I am going to buy, say, a detergent powder, what are the brands that I am considering? And how do I get to know about those brands? That is being part of the consideration set. The second step is being present at the point of sales. That comes from distribution. So if I'm going to buy detergent powder and I'm going to a supermarket to buy it, are you present there? And the third thing is, will I buy it again, which is driven by your product. If I like your product, I'll buy it again. If I don't like it, I won't buy it. But when you're creating a product, we try to do everything in reverse, right? We create a great product. Okay, or we don't know if it's great or not. We create a product. Now it's up to the audience to think about it. Second is we focus on distribution, because if not enough people get to access that product, they will not buy it. They cannot buy it. And third, we look at creating a great story around it or a great messaging around it. So the product creation system generally works in reverse, but when a consumer looks at it, they look at it from a story, point of sales, and then product. So this is where you get to hear from a lot of people saying, oh, I have a better product than my competitor, but my competitor is still selling well. Because maybe their story, which is getting in the consideration set, and their distribution is better than yours. Now, what does a story really help you do? The idea of a story is to build a connection with your target audience. Now, if you're trying to sell a product, you are trying to talk about what does this product have, or what is your belief system behind the product, right? Now, a detergent powder, say brand A, may not be very different from brand B, but when you look at it, saying what does a brand A really talk to? Brand A is probably talking to factory laborers, saying your shirt will be more white, or it's cheaper, something like that. The positioning is more around that. Brand B is talking about general achievement in life. Right? So now, because these two brands are positioned differently, the kind of audience they will attract is also very different. Now let's see this whole story from something that you've not created. Now you want to tell a story. So people have started talking about make in public, right? Where people tweet about whatever they are making, or they update their LinkedIn where they are, whatever they are building, and they try. The whole idea is to attract a certain audience. People will resonate with you, people will empathize with you, and they'll think you've put in a lot of effort. Okay, and this will actually help you create your story. Now let's see this from a different point of view. Now you go and see a nice Michelangelo painting. Sometimes you are only appreciating the details of it, and you can maybe look at it and say, oh, there's a lot of effort that has gone behind doing this. You may not be like a true art appreciator, but you can at least look at it and say there's a lot of effort going behind this. So I tend to connect to this, right? Versus actually trying to appreciate the end output. In the same way, if you're, say, creating a SaaS tool, right, and you start tweeting about the general nuances of the issues that you're facing of creating a company, creating a product, finding a payment gateway, retention, etc., you'll see a lot of people who either resonate with your problems as an entrepreneur, who resonate with the problem of the problem that you're trying to solve. That will come by sharing stories of your target audience again. Now these people will start being attracted to you, almost like being a follower of your brand or follower of you as an entrepreneur or product creator. This will make sure that you become part of the consideration set. Now this still does not make sure that your product will be sold and liked, but this will at least make sure that you are part of the consideration set. Similarly, when you're trying to hire, you're trying to build a team, you have to tell a story. of why should people associate with you. Okay, you can pay great, most people can do that. You are a good place to work. How do I really judge that without being in your place? So the story that you share is probably around deeper emotions that we humans connect to, and these deeper emotions are either very happy emotions or very tough situations where I can empathize with you, right? So maybe if I'm trying to hire a techie, I'll talk about all the hard problems that I'm trying to solve. I may not talk about all the benefits of joining my company, because again, those benefits people can compete on, hard problems people cannot compete on. Now, this is actually like putting yourself out there and showing some kind of transparency, right? And once this story established, this brand image established, people will look for you, or people will consider you when you are present at the point of sales. I'll give you another example. This is 2011-12. I was a big fan of Flipkart, and I was in a meeting with Vinny Bansal, and we were talking about the SEO of Flipkart. Now, SEO of Flipkart, I've studied it greatly from 2008 to 2011 in the initial days, and I was very fascinated about it. And then, in one of these meetings, Vinny Bansal mentioned that, Vinny Bansal, by the way, is the founder of Flipkart, and he mentioned that because of our brand advertising, our SEO is improving. Okay, so they are showing ads on TV or radio or newspaper, and their SEO is improving. I'll tell you how this mechanism works. Now, the SERP page or the result page on Google is actually your point of sales. I am looking for, say, a mobile phone or a book or some product that is available on Flipkart, and the Flipkart page would show up, right? So I might click on it. Now, the chances of me clicking on it might depend on the fact that do I even know about that brand. Now, if through advertising or generally, through other means of storytelling, if I know about Flipkart, and if Flipkart is ranking on, say, rank 5 or 6, but because I know about that brand, I might go and click because I have some expectations with that brand. Now, Google takes this as a positive feedback, saying, I was showing this link on number 5, but more people are clicking on it, then maybe I should push it to number 4 or number 3 or number 2, and that is how gradually the SEO starts improving. Obviously, the product has to be good, otherwise, once people start, in day 1, maybe people are clicking and pushing it up, day 2, maybe they are pushing it back down, right? So again, by advertising, you've actually improved your point of sales presence. This could happen in supermarket also. If I'm a detergent brand, I'm doing great storytelling through different means, and this supermarket is finding that, although they've given me small shelf space, but I am selling larger quantities, they might want to increase my shelf space, or you might be in a position to bargain like a lower margins with them, to get your placement. But all said, obviously your product has to be great, right, to attract the user for the second time and make sure this propagation happens. But unless you are telling this story, your top of the funnel is empty, right? Now imagine a brand, an unknown brand that is present on Amazon, right? You search for coffee, right? And there are a lot of D2C brands that are coming up, and you've never heard of this coffee brand. You might just pass it out. I mean, while scrolling, you will just ignore that and you will move ahead. Versus some brand that you've heard somewhere, there are brands like Rage Coffee or Blue Tokai, getting very popular nowadays. So maybe you've seen them somewhere, maybe you've seen their social media update, or generally some VC talking about it. Now you tend to stop and at least pay attention for a moment, right? Now this is the difference. Without story, if you're present at point of sales, you'll be ignored, right? And if you have a great story and obviously you're not present at point of sales, there is no revenue to be made. So this is where this whole story thing helps. It's just about making that connection, right? Why should I buy from you? Why should I buy this product? And if that happens, your top of the funnel exists, and especially in a commoditized market where, say, coffee, it's difficult to differentiate one brand or the other from the other. In detergent powders again, right? SaaS tools, if I've not used your tool, I cannot differentiate. So maybe I use your tool because I know the founder, or I use your tool because my friend recommended it. I use your tool because the social media update is great, right? So this is where your storytelling is helping you. And this is the answer to the question where you say, right, my competitor has a weaker product than me, but still people are using my competitor because, their story is stronger than yours. Hope you like this. Let me know in the comments. Thank you.